What's up, everybody, and welcome to DevLog number 6. And this one, we will be expanding the puzzle environment after the completion of Puzzle 3, as well as beginning work on Puzzles 4 and 5. So, let's start off by what do I mean by that? So if we go through the environment here, we can see we have all of these little point nodes. These are representing, the individual lines of code that make up Relic. And there's a lot of them. You're not going to be able to interact with them, only the ones that need solving. But there's a lot of them. And I even put a bunch under this one. I accidentally childed them. I don't know how I did, but there's a couple under there too. But there's a lot of nodes. Because I wanted that actual, three-dimensional feel rather than just a star background. I wanted the background and the foreground to move separately to give that sense of depth. So, currently, we have access to do the viewport. Okay. So currently, this is what we have access to. There's no real three-dimensional feel. You can see like the blurring effect on the actual nodes. So they're pretty easy to distinguish versus the background. I also gave them a slight flicker. This is all old news though. But currently this is it. This is all you can interact with. You can't look around. You can't do anything else. This is what you have. So what I want to do is after the completion of the third puzzle, I want to be able to unlock the camera controls for the player. Not where they can move, because the environment itself is fairly limited. It doesn't go very far before you're out of the sphere. But I want them to be able to look around, so after they've solved these first three initial ones, to have other ones hidden, like over here, down here. Just to have three additional puzzles hidden around that they need to find. Just add a little bit of depth to it. So, let's start, I guess let's try that first. So, after we solve the puzzle, so we need to go to the main menu blueprint, because it's still not technically, this may be something that I'll need to add, but right now it is still technically the menu pawn. So when you're in here, it's treating it no different than you're looking at a main menu. But I would need to change that. So if we open the menu pawn here, then here, yes, make it, we can't click on it. Okay. Initial puzzle. So this is not what I'm looking for, I don't think. No, this might not be what I'm looking for. I thought it was. Do I have it in here? The nodes. Window. No, nothing in here sets it UI only. Oh, here it is. It's on puzzle solve, set input mode game only. Player controller. Right. So where did I set UI only? Huh. I have it sit in here. I guess not. Now I'm losing my mind. Where did I set it? Ah, here we go. There we go. Okay. Main menu. There we go. Okay, show mouse cursor, yes. Create widget, main menu. Set main menu UI. Right. UI only. So, get game user settings, right? Load settings, yes. UI. So this is for the UI. Yes. So then, we go back to the main menu. Go to main menu. Open the main menu widget. Then we go to the graph. And then on start, fade out, yes, delay, nation, open level, right, right. Okay, so then on puzzle start here, let's open the world blueprint, or level blueprint. Come on, there we go. Level blueprint. Then begin play, here we go. So it's set from the main menu, and it's not set back to game mode. So we go here on solved. So on exit, set input mode game only. It's false. Remove widget. Only. Right. So then where is event construct here? Right. So this is on puzzle 1. What if I set input mode game on? What if I remove this and then just remove it from the parent and we don't do that? What will then happen if we exit puzzle 1? Seemingly nothing. Okay. Oh, wait. Or is that what locked it to the... Or is that what locked it to the boundaries? If we play, we can't leave the boundary. Go in here, we can leave the boundary. If we exit, we can no longer leave the boundary. Okay. Well, that's something we can solve real quick then. So on event construct, we want to do the same thing. So the first thing we want to do is set the boundary. Drag you back and we will just copy this. So we'll move these down a bit. This should make it where you can't click out of the window. About game only. So then, can't leave the window. We can still leave the window. Why is that? We can still interact with it. Yeah, we can still interact. It goes back to that, so that's good. That's fine. So then, only. So maybe that's what we need to do in the menu pun here. Or is that something we do in the node? It's been so long since I've touched any of this stuff. we have the main menu here. Only. Right. Player controller is a reference to self in widget focus. Settings, right. So I don't necessarily think it's this. Mode. Okay. Right. Not here. So let's check the node. No. Where did I put? Here it is. So, oh, here we go. Oh, this is where it is. This is, oh. Okay. PC underscore initial puzzle. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. UI only. Right, why did I do that? Okay. So this is what happens when we click on the nodes, not file. Go here to the node. Where did I have you saved? Set material. Because in menu pawn here, this is where it calls, yes, PC initial puzzle. Right. So that's what goes to that. So this is the pawn. Whenever you click on something, it'll parse the information from the node, figure out which puzzle it is, and it'll send that start command. Okay. So that goes to here. So we don't need main menu widget, and we don't need PC main menu. You can go away. We need this. Input mode game only. Begin play, set input mode, game only. So, let's figure it out. So right now, we're in game only mode. What if I click? That's to do with the click. Okay. If I click, it goes out. This is on the cast failed. Okay. So how does the cast fail? Because when we exit, if we exit the puzzle, not exit pop-up, but exit here, we set the input mode to game only. Player controller. So, we go here, we're in game only mode. If we click, we are out of a game only mode. But we can click again, and we're out of game mode. But if we exit, we are back in game only mode. But if we click, we go back into out of game only mode. Okay. So we need to have a solution for when we don't click on a puzzle. On cast failed, let's do print string. Cast failed. So if we don't click on a puzzle, this should, there we go, cast failed. Ooh, okay, okay. So this is why we have issues. Why now I can't click on the puzzle. Because we're not in game only mode anymore. But if I double click, we are back in the menu. And if we click here, we do not have a cast failed. Go in here and click. No issues. But if I miss, we have a cast failed and we are out of the game. But if we double click, we cast failed. Because we go, when we double click, we go back into the game, it registers the input, but goes another cast failed. If we double click on this, we can open it. So that's why it's funky about that. We're back in game mode. Okay. So, what if we do this? We'll just set input mode, or set game mode. Set mode game only. Player controller, get a reference to self. Self. No. No. So, menu pawn. Now, we'll just get player controller. So now if there's a cast, we should still be in game only mode. We are not. We're out of game only mode. And we're out of the game. Yeah. So let's add another condition here. Another print string. Print string. And failed cast. Okay, so we've done that branch, but we are not set in game only mode. So what is the difference? Set input mode, game only. Set input mode, game only. Get player controller, 0, yes. Okay. So what if, how can I have this ignored? Ignore? Is there an ignore? Right. So we do not set UI mode only. So we enter the puzzle in whatever input mode we were previously in. Is there a way I can print input mode? Oops. Pressed print string get input mode. How do I get input mode? See what this does. I ain't doing jack. Let's make sure this is working. Okay, so that does work. So how can I get you to print the input mode? No. Something to do with this variable transition here. I don't really know much to do about array. Get a copy? Or get a reference? Index. Get a reference. This index. Output. Just try. It's probably not going to work, but let's see what it does. None. Okay. None. 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 Okay. Yeah, yep. All right, fair enough. Maybe 5, how to get game input mode. So there is no easy way to get the input mode. Fair enough. This is useless. So, we know what to do with this failed cast. Let me think. PP node. Alright. I start puzzle 1. Because theoretically, if we go to the puzzle, we start puzzle 1, we show the mouse cursor, we create the widget, we add it to the viewport, but we do not set the input mode. The input mode is not set. So it should go into this widget with whatever input mode it had previously. If we open the widget on event construct, we set the input mode game only when the widget is created, which is not technically what we need. Go in here because I mean, yeah, we're out of the boundary now. Go puzzle 1. If we get rid of this, and now we start puzzle 1. We're in, locked in. We're not locked in. Okay, so what if we do this? Input mode game only. Set input mode UI only. No. I mean, we can still interact with it. It's fine. We exit, we're back to game only mode. But something about game only mode locks us in. Why? So what if instead of this, because even without this, with widget puzzle on exit, we set input mode game only. What if on creation we set it game only? Game only. Reference to self. Because this is PC underscore initial puzzle is the player controller in this situation. Locked in. Not locked in. Why? Why is that? Come on. Class AI controller. Class settings. It's on. Right. No. Initial puzzle. Play. Screen. So this is just for the introductory level. Nothing else here does anything. So it's down to this one. On pressed, node. Node. It's all solved. Right. PP node. It's solved. True. Could pop up a little widget, but yeah, the puzzle's already solved. Okay, doesn't matter. Cast failed. Set put node in we do that. No. What is it about? Why is that? Why does it do that? It's worse, but if I click. What? Player controller. Yeah. Sample mode game away. Right. You pawn. Sample mode game only. As get player controller. How do I do that? Wait. Yeah, get player controller. Game only. What if we flush the input? No, we're out of the window. Not game only. Exit. Game only. Click. Not game only. What? I'll flush the input. What does that do? Try that. If we have a cast failed, we want to flush that input. Maybe? I don't know. No. Why is that? So what is the difference between this? If the cast fails, or do we want to do this on event begin play? New spawn. Only. What if we do this? It's on event begin play. We set the initial puzzle, PC, and we set the input mode game only. Get player controller. Right. Get rid of this though. We'll set it here. So begin play. Game only. Click. We're out. So then what happens? Should get rid of you for a second. What? Okay, fine. Whatever. Cast. That's going to do the same thing with the cast. Yeah. So I'm going to have to, oops. I lost it. No. It closed. Why did that happen? Get back here. Move you over here. So menu fun. Get rid of this. Just ignore it and just get rid of you where you're not called. That way you won't give me a compile error. So now, left mouse button does nothing. Click, click. Nope, it still takes me out. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Why does that happen? So it's not about the cast failing. Because now, clicking has no impact whatsoever. Now if I click on the node, it still takes me out. Okay. Hold on. So then why is clicking taking me out of the simulation? In the game. No, not in the game. When we exit, set the mode game only. Is that with all puzzles? Yes. Why does clicking and active viewport simulation take me out of simulation? Handles mouse focus. Play. Editor. Player. Oh. Okay. Simulate in editor versus play in editor. Okay, let's try that difference. So right now we are simulate this level in active level viewport. Play this level. P. 8. Wait, no. F10. Editor preferences, play. Preferences. Says play. Come on, pop up. There you go. And then we want to do what? Place and focus. There is no click to focus. Mouse control settings. Game gets mouse control always. So let's try the different play modes, I suppose. So let's go back to, let's close the settings. Now we have game always gets mouse controls. Hit play, puts us inside the simulation, and click, still takes me out. Okay. Why is clicking? Here's an idea. Hold on. Puzzle 1 on undo. Let's try that. Set input mode. Game only. Get player controller. So now, let's see what that does. If we hit play, we're stuck in the game, open the puzzle, we're out, but if we hit undo, we're back in the puzzle. So it is that. What difference does it make? So we're game only, but clicking, wait, hold the phone, but clicking takes us out of it, but then what? Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. Hold on. Hold on. This doesn't make any sense. So instead of a reference to self, what if we do this? Get player controller. Get player controller. So instead of a reference to self, PC initial puzzle, we'll do a reference to the player controller. So now, when we open puzzle 1, we should be in game only mode, which should not let us interact with the puzzle. We open 2, we're out. We open puzzle 1, we still. What? That making no sense. Why you do that? Why you do that? Why you do that? Get player controller. Get a reference to the player controller. Set input mode game only. After you add it to the viewport, set input mode game only. We go in here. Under the undo that we just added, set input mode game only. Get reference to the player controller. It's the same thing. But we run it whenever we construct, whenever we do the puzzle. So why does that not work? We're in game only mode. We're not in game only mode. What? Okay, hold on. Let me try. Hold on. So event begin play. Set input mode. Game only. Fair enough. Use settings. Load settings. Okay. So cast to BP underscore menu pawn. Okay. So let's do this for a minute. As BP menu pawn, get player controller. No. Get controller. Sure. Get controller. Set input mode. Game only. BP menu classes controller. Can't do that. Why can we not do that? Why can I not do that? Why if I promote you to a variable? Call you controller. Then we get a reference to controller. Get controller. And we plug you in here. Why can I... What? Okay, hold on. What if we do this? As BP menu player controller, set input mode. No, that's not... I know. So not controller. As BP menu pawn, set input. But no. Mode. No. Set input mode game only. BP menu pawn, player controller. Local viewing that I guess I don't know, man. I don't know. BP menu pawn, player controller. I don't know what this does, but let's see what happens. See what. No, okay. Oh, right. Hold on. Hold on. Cast to BP underscore menu pawn. Pawn. Checked. Get player controller. Menu pawn. As BP menu pawn, set input. Nope, still can't do that. Get controller. This seems so backwards. Set input mode. No. Set input mode game only. As the controller. Nope, still can't do that. Okay, fair enough. Player controller. And we'll add a break here. And breakpoint. So if it sets the input mode to game only, whenever we click on the widget, it'll pop up here. But it should do that after we do this. So add a breakpoint here. This should be the first one to trip. So if we go here, we click, trip the breakpoint. Okay. And then we trip the next breakpoint. Set input mode game only. So we're game only. Okay. Why did it work then, but not the other time? What? I don't get it. I don't. But I can't interact with this now, but I mean, that, okay, fine, fair enough. Because then we click on it, yeah. But now we're out. Right. So now let's remove those breakpoints. Remove breakpoint. And remove breakpoint. So we know it works. It puts us in game only mode. Can't do anything. But now it doesn't! What does having the break node change? It doesn't change. Why? Ah. What if we pause and replay the simulation? No, still. So we're in the player controller. We are part of the player controller. Okay, so do this. Well, actually, I can just we'll keep this. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna copy this. Set. Player controller. Get controller. Now it breaks it. Why? Why is it doing that? Let's get rid of this. Try something else. Pressed. That string. Nope. Print string. Game only. So P is not tied to anything else. Hit P. Game only. Or game only. We click, we're out of game. We hit P. Or game. Then what is it with left click? Left something about it takes us out of game only. But if we hit P, we're back. Click, we're out. Hit P, we're back. Why is that? We're getting somewhere. So we know it's something to do. So I'm going to do this. So, on left mouse button, we cast a BP node. What if, before we cast, we set input mode, game only, before we cast. And then it'll go through all the logic. Get player controller. So when you click, the first thing it does is set input mode, game only. We're in game only. Click, we're out. So it's got to be something in the logic afterwards. So what if, let's disconnect this. Then it'll still cast to the node, but it doesn't do anything. It'll cast, but it doesn't do anything. No, it still takes us out. Why? Why does it take us out? Why does it take us out? Why do you do that? So this made no difference. Let's do this. Hit actor is valid. If it is valid, we want to cast. If it's not valid, we don't want to do anything. No, still takes us out. So, let's see. Let's go here. We'll add a breakpoint here. Is not valid. Print string. Not valid. Not valid. Not valid. We'll add a breakpoint here. And we'll add a breakpoint here. So, whenever we click on empty space, there should be no valid object. So if we go in here, we click, we're going to toggle the breakpoint is valid. Next step, inputs, right, is valid. Hold on, let's do that again. Click, branch, we go to is valid, leave standard macros, leave standard macros, so not valid. Okay. Play, click, not valid, print string, not valid. Right, but now we're back out of the game. Looking takes me out. Hello, what that?
I'm taking to if you.
What's it?
Oh, that's
You and soup, I swear.
look, it's been a very long time since we had that. So what's it? All birds go on the site.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thanks, spot done. So, okay. But I mean, technically, if I click here, it's going to be not valid. But if I click on one of these, it should be, yeah, no? Yeah, it's valid. Because technically those are valid. Except for this one for some reason. There we go. Go and click on it. But it still doesn't put us back in the game. So, we're in pie mode, right? Now, before we worry about this, let's try it in a different mode. New editor window. Locked in the window. And then now we're out of the window because now we can interact with it. Open that, we can leave it. If we exit it, we're back in the window. If we click, we can leave. So I don't think it's to do with that. What if we do standalone game? Okay. Nope, I clicked out of it. So yeah, we're locked in the window. But if we click, it takes us out. Why is that? Capture mode. And then project settings, capture.
Come on, Sweetie. I think it's that.
Alright, hold on.
I'm spending a little time with all these others.
I need to finish this. Why are none of my settings showing up like this? Why? Of course, I don't have a mouse capture setting. That would be too convenient. Why don't I have these settings?
Mom. Yeah, I'm about to take a picture.
Screen capture. Remove capture. Settings. I don't want anything to do with thumbnails. That's not what I want. What? Am I in the right spot? Project setting. Ah, I'm such an idiot. Project setting. Ah, my God. Bro. Why am I just... Okay, I'm gonna BRB after dinner. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and end this stream here until I can figure out the UI issues. I don't know because it seems so counterintuitive. I can set it in one spot and then it'll work, but then in that exact same system, set it with a different method and it won't work, even though it should. And I don't know. So I'll go ahead and end this one here. I'll get the UI stuff figured out, figure out why it is not staying captured, and then we'll pick up from there. And got some stuff going on. I'll try and get puzzle 4 and 5 done off camera if I can, but that's going to be it for this one. Sorry we did not make any progress. I don't know why this UI stuff is taking me so long.